Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing the if I could only choose one tag that was created by Kelly Gooch here on YouTube. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Anyway, I will have her channel as well as her video linked down below. You guys should definitely check her out. I love her content. She's a really great creator. She's always coming up with new and really unique ideas. Definitely like a fresh content creator. So I would definitely recommend checking out her channel if you haven't already. But if you guys are interested in seeing my answers to the questions to this tag video, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so the idea behind this video is that if you could only choose one makeup item from each category to use for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? So it's not exactly like the ride or die makeup tag. Like, it's not necessarily your absolute favorite. It could be, but it's just one that you have to use. Like, you can only use that one for the rest of your life. So that is the idea behind this. I definitely have a couple of products that are ride or die for me, but then I have some that I had to be a little bit more practical in my thought process based upon thinking like that's the only one you can use for the rest of your life. I know this is just like a made up concept, but anyway, that being said, we will go ahead and start with primer. The primer that I chose was the Hello Fab First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. The reason that I chose this is because for me, I have really dry skin, and this does a really nice job of moisturizing. I don't necessarily know that it helps in the longevity of wear, but it's moisturizing to the skin. It has a little bit of a tackiness to it so that, you know, it helps create a nice base for your makeup. It smells like coconut, so it smells really good, and then it also gives like a little bit of a luminosity. I also find that every foundation that I've tried with this, and I've tried quite a few foundations with this, they all sit nicely with this primer. I know some primers, like silicone primers, don't necessarily play nicely with every single foundation out there, so this is one that I figured I could use with every foundation except for I would only be using one foundation. So anyway, this is the primer that I selected. For foundation, I chose the Dior Skin Forever foundation. I'm obsessed with this. This is such a good foundation. It blends in so easily. It's a nice medium buildable coverage, and it's literally just so beautiful. It's not too luminous, but it's definitely not matte or drying either, and it's just so beautiful. So if I could only choose one foundation to wear for the rest of my life, and even if this wasn't like a made-up concept, I may just only use this foundation forever. Not really, but this is so good that I would not be mad if I could only use this for the rest of my life. Alright you guys, for bronzer I chose the exact same one that Kelly chose in her video, and it is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer. I wear mine in Capri Coast. It looks like this. This is not a dupe because this is the more expensive version, but a dupe for this would be the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I like both just about the same, but I like this one just like a smidgen more, which is why I decided to go with this. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see a swatch, but this is a beautiful formula, super just beautiful on the skin. I absolutely love it. I also want to give honorable mention to the new Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzers. I was going to choose that one for this video, but I haven't been using it enough to know if like I love it as much as I think I do right now, but that would have been my number one choice right now. But again, I just haven't been using it enough to feel like that would have been a fair option. But yeah, the new ABH bronzers are also really good, but if I could only choose one bronzer to use for the rest of my life, it would definitely be the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Capri Coast. For blush, I went with the Hourglass. I can never say Hourglass and blush. For blush, I went with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure. I just have the mini. It looks like this. Let me see if I can swatcheroo. You can barely see it. You can't even see it swatched on the skin. But the reason I chose this is because I feel like this is one that I could wear all year round, and the color would still work for the season. In the wintertime, I would probably build it up a little bit more to get more of like that beautiful mauve toned color. But in the summer, you can wear this just as a super lightweight blush, just to give a little bit of flush to the cheeks. And it is beautiful. This is my favorite blush formula at the time. At the present. So this is, if I could only choose one blush to use for the rest of my life, it would definitely be the Hourglass Mood Exposure blush. Highlight was probably the section that was most difficult for me to decide, just because I have a very large highlight collection and I love so many of them, but I finally selected the Hourglass Ambient Strobe Lighting Powder in Incandescent Strobe Light. I was trying to decide between this one and Euphoric Fusion, but this one has a little bit more of like a pinky tone to it, which is the highlights that I tend to prefer. You can't really see it swatched, but I prefer the pinky toned highlights because I have more of a cool undertone, and obviously I'm really fair. But the Hourglass highlight formula, you guys, is just incredible. So if I could only choose one highlight to use for the rest of my life, it would definitely be this guy right here. Alright guys, I did decide to include face powder in here. I can't remember if Kelly included it in her video, but if I could only choose one face powder to use for the rest of my life, it would be the Sonia Kashuk translucent powder. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Brightening powder, excuse me. I use this to set underneath my eyes, and it is absolutely beautiful. I don't typically go with a powder to set my whole face, so that is why I chose this one. I wanted a brightening powder to use under my eyes, and this is my favorite one ever for setting underneath my eyes. Sorry, my daughter's in the room filming with me. Anyway, so again, if I could only choose one powder to use for the rest of my life, it would be the Sonia Kashuk Brightening Powder. I bought this on clearance at Target right before they changed their whole beauty section. I don't know if they still sell this. They don't at Target anymore, at least not my Target. And I haven't checked the Sonia Kashuk website to see if they still have this, but I will be devastated if this is discontinued because I absolutely love this powder. It's really nice and finely milled, so it never ends up looking crepey or cakey under the eyes, and I again have dry skin, so I run into that issue sometimes, but absolutely love this powder. Sorry for going off on a tangent. Sorry for going off on a tangent there. Alright guys, I decided to choose an eyeliner for this video, and if I could only choose one eyeliner to use for the rest of my life, it would be a gel eyeliner because that's what sticks the best in my waterline, and I selected the cream gel liner from ColourPop in the shade Stomper. It looks like this. It's a nice dark brown. I actually checked their website just before filming this, and they don't sell this color anymore, which is really sad. And it looks like the closest one was Call On Me or Call On. So I'll probably go ahead and be ordering that one within the next couple of months for when I run out of this. But this is such a good gel liner, you guys. I absolutely love it. It's been my tried and true for probably about 1.5 years now. This is the only gel liner that I really use in my waterline. Occasionally, if I'm looking for like a more intense black, I'll go with the Inglot gel liner, but I seriously use this probably at least 5 times a week, and I love this. Alright guys, for mascara, I decided to go with the Essence Lash Princess Mascara in volume. It's the one with the pink. I really like this because it does a nice job of separating your lashes and curling them up, but it does also give a nice volume to your lashes. It's what I have in my lashes today. And I think it's really good. This one was a pretty obvious choice to me, although this was probably also would be the hardest if this was actually true, because I typically am one who layers at least 2 to 3 mascaras because I never wear falsies. So this would be the one that I chose if I could only choose one mascara to wear for the rest of my life, but that'd be really tough because I love to layer my mascaras. Are any else of you, is anyone else like that? And what is your favorite mascara layering combination? I just realized I didn't talk about the concealer that I would choose, but if I had to choose one concealer, it would be the Naked Skin. I didn't want to go with the Tarte Shape Tape, even though I love that concealer, but that one is so full coverage, and I don't always want to go for a super full coverage makeup look, so I wanted to choose one that was more lightweight and not quite as full coverage. So I really do love the Naked Skin concealer. This is probably my favorite concealer aside from the Tarte Shape Tape, but again, they do 2 different things, and if I could only choose to wear one for the rest of my life, I'd definitely go with the Naked Skin. Eyeshadow palette was another really difficult category, just because do you go with a warm tone palette, or do you go with a cool tone palette, or do you go with a colorful palette? Probably not, unless you know you're really into color, which I'm not. I always love to go neutral. So my original thought was actually to go with a limited edition palette that is no longer available, and that would have been the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mario palette, because that has a good mix of warm tone and cool tone shades, and they're all neutrals. It's a beautiful palette. But then right before filming this video, I got to thinking, well, what about if I want like pops of color every now and again? And so for that reason, I decided to go with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This has 35 shades, so you're going to be left with a lot of shades to choose from. You got your pops of colors. This is mostly warm toned as far as neutral looks go, but you can definitely play around with some of these darker shades, and you can, you know, try and come up with a cool tone look. As far as the eyeshadow formula, it's not the absolute best eyeshadow formula I've ever used, but it's good. It's easy to blend. You can get so many different looks out of this palette, so that is why I decided to go with this palette. Again, not necessarily my very favorite palette ever. I definitely do really like this palette, but it's practical if this was like an actual legit thing. So if I could only choose one eyeshadow palette to use for the rest of my life, Jaclyn Hill Morphe has got my back. Alright, you guys, Kelly, I believe, only chose a lip gloss and maybe a lipstick, or maybe even just a gloss. But I decided to choose a lipstick, a lip gloss, and a liquid lipstick. So for lip gloss, I chose the Marc Jacobs lip gloss in Sugar Sugar. This is a mini I have right now. I also have a full size. This is just my favorite gloss. I also was thinking about the Bare Minerals lip gloss in Sugar. I also really like that one, but this is just a tried and true for me. I love this one, and it's a little bit more shimmery than the Bare Minerals one, so that is why I selected this one, because this is going to give me some shiny lips, but it's also super neutral, so that would be my choice for lip gloss. For lipstick, I decided to go with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Rum Punch lipstick. It's actually what I have on my lips right now. Super, super neutral, super creamy, and really comfortable. That's what it looks like swatched on my skin. I really like this lipstick formula in general, and this I just thought would be a really nice neutral color that would match a lot of like outfits as well as eye looks. So this would be one that would be really versatile, which is why I selected this guy for my lipstick. And then for liquid lipstick, I wanted to choose a sort of red fall shade, because you have to have one of those in your collection, even if you're super limited. So I went with the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Brick. This to me is just a perfect mix between like red and burgundy. It has some nice like orangey browny tones in it. It's coming across a little bit more red on camera, but in person it dries down a little bit darker. I actually have a liquid lipstick review on Dose of Colors using this shade, so if you're interested I will link that down below. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful shade, and Dose of Colors has one of my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. Super creamy and lightweight, and not as drying as a lot of liquid lipstick formulas, so that is why I thought this would be a good one to choose if I could only choose one liquid lipstick to wear for the rest of my time here. And then finally, setting spray. I decided to go with the tried and true Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. This is one that does truly make a difference in making your makeup last longer, which is why I decided to go with this one. Most setting sprays are going to help melt down the makeup and make you look a little less dry or powdery. But not all of them will help with the longevity of wear. So that is why I went with the Urban Decay All Nighter. I've been using this for years now and I absolutely love it. It's never failed me, and it's just a great setting spray. So if I could only choose one, this would be it. Alright you guys, that concludes this video for the if I could only choose one tag. I had a lot of fun choosing my products for this, and I thought it was a really fun tag to do. So if you guys make YouTube videos, I definitely encourage you to do the tag as well. Otherwise, if you don't have a YouTube video channel, definitely let me know your answers in the comment box below, because it's always super fun to just hear what everyone's answers would be. So I'm definitely curious. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go. And other than that, I'll just see you in my next video. Bye!